Chapter 6. The Ring.
After searching for Christine for days, Raoul again turned to Madame Valerius for help. To his great relief, when he arrived at her flat, Christine was sitting beside her.
Christine, thank heavens you're safe.
She was still weak from her experience and did not speak. Instead, the elderly lady warned,
Raoul, I'm happy to see you, but you're getting involved in something very dangerous. It's a miracle that Christine has been returned to us safely.
Christine looked at Raoul sadly and said,
Someday, I hope I can explain it all to you, Raoul. But this isn't the time.
I don't understand what is happening, but I shall uncover the truth.
Then, as the poor girl brushed a tear from her cheek, Raoul had the shock of his life. She was wearing a gold ring, a wedding ring. When he tried to grab her hand, she pulled it away and turned from him. Raoul took her by the shoulders, fearing the worst.
Christine, you can't be...
No, Raoul. It was just a gift.
Who gave it to you?
He demanded. Christine did not speak, but Raoul knew the answer.
The voice in your dressing room. It's from Eric, isn't it?
How could you know? Were you listening there? Raoul, just knowing his name is dangerous.
Who is this man? Why are you so frightened of him?
A look of sadness crossed her face.
I can't tell you, Raoul. Just promise never to come to my dressing room again, unless I send for you.
Raoul tried not to look defeated.
But will you?
She held his hands in hers.
Soon, I promise.
Christine did as she had promised and sent Raoul a note asking him to come to her dressing room after the performance the following evening. As he dressed for the evening, Raoul summoned his courage and practiced the words he would say to Christine. He had made up his mind. The only way to protect her was to make her his wife. They would flee Paris and Eric forever. When they met, Raoul took Christine's hand in his and said,
My darling, I've thought and thought. I love you and want you to be my wife. I'll protect you. You'll never have to be afraid again. We can leave Paris tonight and go anywhere you like, even back to Sweden if you wish.
I can't leave the opera now, Raoul. It's too soon.
But why? Please, Christine, I want us to be together.
Her eyes were full of hope and fear at the same time. Raoul noticed that she was still wearing the gold ring.
I promised to sing for him again, for him alone. I cannot break my word.
Raoul was confused.
Trust me, Raoul. We cannot talk of this now.
An unexplained absence of a few days passed before Raoul saw Christine perform again. The audience was delighted with her performance, and Raoul was bursting with pride for her, though he was hurt to see her still wearing the ring. At that moment, as though someone had read his mind, a voice whispered from the back of his box.
She's wearing another man's ring, Raoul.
The voice laughed like a demon. Raoul turned around quickly toward the voice, but could see no one.
Do you know where she's been, Raoul? Why don't you ask Eric? He knows. She belongs to him.
At the end of the performance, now questioning his own sanity, Raoul went to Christine's dressing room. She smiled sadly as Raoul gently touched her cheek.
I heard a voice in my box tonight, but there was no one there. It said you belonged to Eric. Who is this Eric? I demand to know.
Before he could continue, she put her finger to his lips to silence him. It would not be safe to speak there. Then she took his hand and led him quietly away from danger. As they moved through the corridors, looking for a safe place to speak, someone climbed down through one of the many trapdoors separating the stage from the cellars below. Christine froze for an instant.
Why are you afraid, Christine? Why does such mystery surround everything here?
Christine did not reply, silently pulling him along behind her. As they climbed the many stairs to the safety of the roof, they were unaware of a shadowy presence nearby.
It's all right now. I'm sure he can't hear us here.
Christine, please tell me what's going on.
She sat down, hardly knowing where to begin.
Oh, Raoul. At first I wasn't afraid, because he sang so beautifully. When I heard the voice, I believed that my prayers had been answered, that my father had sent the angel of music to me. I had no idea.
She took a deep breath and continued.
Oh, he made me what I am, Raoul, and I'll always be in his debt. But as my father warned me, he wants something in return. At first, he asked that I sing only for him, and I promised. When I thought he was the angel, I could accept it. But Raoul, he's not.
Christine, who is he?
Raoul, he's the Phantom of the Opera, and he wants me for his wife.
No, that cannot happen.
What can I do? If I leave him, it will do terrible harm to us both. That first night when you came to my dressing room, I knew he could hear us there, so I pretended not to know you. He was very strict about my training and allowed me no social life at all. I was afraid that if he thought we cared for each other, there would be trouble.
Raoul was dazed as he listened to Christine's story. Suddenly they heard an awful sound coming from behind them, the moaning of something in terrible pain. It echoed through every corner of the opera. Christine was petrified.
Oh no, it's Eric. He's heard us.
The echo died away, but Raoul knew there was more than pain in that tortured voice. There was deep, terrible anger. He whispered to Christine.
We must leave tonight.
She shook her head sadly.
We'll leave, Raoul, but not tonight. Not before I sing for him one last time, my next performance. If I don't, I'm afraid of what he might do. Raoul, he would kill for me.
These words sent a cold shiver down the young man's spine. Eric was even more dangerous than he had thought. The two clung to each other tightly in the darkness. When they heard an even more agonizing cry, they knew he had heard everything they had said. Terrified, they ran through the building, up and down steps, and along the shadowy passageways. Suddenly, a tall, dark man appeared from the darkness.
Quickly, go the other way,
he warned. Christine pulled Raoul back.
It's the Persian.
When they reached Christine's dressing room, Raoul tried to compose himself.
Why must you sing again for Eric?
I gave him my word. I can't go back on it now. I'm afraid he'll kill us both.
Suddenly she turned pale and cried out,
Oh no, Raoul!
What is it? What's wrong?
The ring. It's gone.
Christine looked at her hand in terror.
He'll never forgive me. I promised I would never take it off. What will happen to us now?
Raoul tried to comfort her and begged her to leave with him immediately, but she pulled herself together and said,
Please, Raoul, you must be patient. Not before tomorrow. We'll leave after my next performance. I promise.
On the roof, a moaning, heartbroken shadow stepped out from the darkness. He bent down and picked up the small gleaming piece of gold that had slipped off the delicate finger of the only woman he would ever love. Eric wept.